Hey, it's Troy. We have a free lesson here for you today on people pleasing, and I'm going to start it by asking you to imagine. I'd like you to imagine putting your needs ahead of others regularly and how draining that would feel. How disconnected that could make you feel by focusing on what others need rather than what you need. Yeah. So imagine that for a moment. Imagine refraining from sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your own needs and values to keep the peace and to avoid conflict of any kind. And then imagine going out of your way to please others so that way they like you and you don't have to deal with rejection, right? And imagine feeling responsible for other people's happiness, trying to help them be happy, trying to fix their problems, feeling responsible to solve whatever is troubling them so that way they feel better. What I imagine is that you don't have to imagine one or more of those situations that I just mentioned. You live it, don't you? At least one of them, if not multiple. And that's why you're watching this video. That's a good choice. That's what this is all about. I was going to call this People Pleasing 101, but it's more advanced than that because I've read books on people pleasing. I've listened to podcasts. I've scoured the internet, and none of them advise you to do the number one thing that you need to do to overcome people pleasing. All right? The way they suggest doing it, it's a long journey and it doesn't have to be that way. That's good news, right? Yeah. So I overcome my people pleasing ways very quickly, very fast, and it was so deep and galvanized within me that I was so grateful to release it so fast. My clients, they do the same. I show them how to do it since I was able to do it, and it's absolutely life elevating and empowering. So let's dive in. So people pleasing may seem honorable. That's the big thing. It's like it's so caring, it's unselfish. And if you value those things, it can be really difficult to go, I need to people please. Like this has to happen. I don't want to be selfish. But it's highly damaging. All right. So we're going to cover the dangers of it. We're going to go beyond just the behaviors and go to what really matters more, the common beliefs of people pleasers. Because until you shift those, you're always going to be one. Okay. We're going to highlight what you can do to overcome it, including that very first thing that you can do to start helping yourself today, just a little thing to shift you in the right direction. And then the real big first thing that you can do to just create fast change in your life. Does that sound good? Have you ever thought or said, I'm a people pleaser? Or you heard me mention those things and you go, oh, I do that. Oh, I do. Okay, yeah, I am a people pleaser. Have you ever said that or thought that to yourself? If so, let's definitely change that here today. So, why we do it? It might be to be liked, accepted by others. That validation helps you with your self worth, doesn't it? It might be to avoid rejection or conflict, right? Just avoid those negative experiences. And maybe to be because you were raised in an environment where pleasing others is highly valued and rewarded. It's just this is how we do it. Look how good you make people feel. Making others feel good makes me feel good. As a result, you've learned to prioritize the needs and wants of others over your own. Trauma is also a factor, leaving you without healthy boundaries and a lack of assertiveness and a fear of or inability to communicate what you need to communicate. And the dangers of it, right? The dangers of people pleasing. Wow, loss of confidence, loss of self esteem, seeking validation, approval from others. That's going to affect your self worth, right? And so when you begin to rely on other people's opinions to define your own worth, oh, that's just, you surrender your power, you give it away completely. And then when you don't get it back, you feel so horrible about yourself and underappreciated, right? Burnout is a danger. Going out of your way to please others by saying yes way too often, not being able to say no, saying I can't stretch myself that thin or whatever it may be. It's not aligned with who I am, but you say yes anyway. You can get mental, emotional, physical burnout, just sacrificing your own needs that way. And it can lead to resentment and fatigue. Think of the giver who feels underappreciated again, right? Just like finally, there's like, no one appreciates what they get resentful. No one appreciates what I do in this household. It's just they haven't heard the words, "Hey, I appreciate you," because that's what they're looking for. Just like, I just need that validation, please, right? A danger of loss of authenticity. You're going to hide your true feelings and your opinions and your thoughts in order to avoid conflict and please others, right? To keep the peace. And so you're not expressing who you are, and eventually start hiding it, and you're hiding it from yourself eventually. And so you feel so disconnected from who you are. And that can lead to your loss of authenticity, and you don't know which way to go. You can't even trust your intuition anymore because you're so disconnected from yourself. Another one is, difficulty in setting boundaries and not being able to say the no in situations and protect yourself and prioritize yourself. And of course, mental health issues such as anxiety and depression, right? So there's a lot of dangers. There's even more than what I've just mentioned there to people pleasing. And I can't state this enough. The key is no one else is acknowledging or talking about right here. Trying to change your people pleasing behavior does not work unless you change your people pleasing beliefs. So, people pleasing, it's an inner problem, right? Behavior is an external result. It's almost like the symptom of the true problem, right? And you have to treat the actual source of the problem, not the symptom. And unfortunately, all the approaches are like, hey, change your behavior, this external thing. And then hopefully it changes you at the core. It doesn't. And if it does, it's a long journey of like years and years and years. But really, the only true change happens when it happens here. So, common beliefs for people pleasers. One is that your worth is determined by how much you're able to give to others and to bring joy into their life, right? Another belief is you're responsible for their happiness. Like, that is on you, right? Another belief is that saying no is bad. It makes you a bad person. You're selfish. How could you say no? You're being so selfish right now in this moment. And unfortunately, people might guilt you when you try to say no. And if you're a people pleaser, you're going to shrink in that moment and go, no, my goodness, please. Right? So you'll cave and you'll say yes. Another belief is that you have to avoid conflict. It should be avoided at all costs. Surrender everything that's important to you just to make sure there's no conflict. Right? So some of the beliefs right there. And you may just generally believe that your needs and desires are less important than others. Right? Other beliefs that are serving you no good. People pleasing is a personality trait. False. Let's ditch that now. To suggest that causes people to believe they're stuck with it. It's like, well, this is who I am. This is my personality. I can't do anything about it. I just got to learn how to accept myself. Self-acceptance. I'm a people pleaser, and that's okay because I make people happy. Sure, I get frustrated and burnt out, and sure, I have anxiety, and I can get depressed, but there's no need for that. All right, we're going to change that shortly right here. And then people pleasing is difficult to let go and takes a lot of self-reflection and time. It's probably a lot of things on the internet who are going to try and tell you that. Very false. If you do it right, if you approach it right, you can ditch people pleasing faster than you thought possible. It's just a matter of how you approach the problem. Again, an external approach doesn't solve an internal problem. We'll discuss that more momentarily. What to do about it? If you Google what to do about it, here's what they suggest. 1, set boundaries. Means saying no when you need to and not feeling guilty about it. That'd be nice, right? Practice being assertive. Speak up for yourself. Express your thoughts, your feelings, your needs. Do it clear and nice, respectful way. And then 3, prioritize your needs and wants. Serve you first before you take care of others. Great in principle. For people pleasers who hear that, this is a lot easier said than done, isn't it? You go like, hey, Google, you're telling me to say no? I can't. I'm a people pleaser. You're telling me to speak up for myself? I can't. I'm a people pleaser. You're telling me to prioritize my needs? I won't. I'm a people pleaser. Right? So that advice It's useful only when you do the first thing that really needs to be done. You need to release those beliefs, those people-pleasing beliefs that foster the behavior. You need to release the fears, the emotions that you harbor as a people pleaser that fuels all the behavior. And I call that baggage, all right? The fears, the doubt, the limiting beliefs, the trauma, it's all baggage. And until you release that baggage, you'll always be a people pleaser at the core. You can try and change your behavior on the outside, but deep down, you're going to identify as a people pleaser. And so your subconscious will eventually sabotage you, and you'll go back to your people pleasing behaviors in a matter of time. It could be really fast, it could be a little bit longer, but it's just going to be how it is because it's how you truly are identified deep down within. Even if consciously you're trying to change it, that's not how you do it. Okay? Here is how you do it. First off, we're going to give you a simple little tip here just to give you a little shift in the right direction. This isn't going to solve all your problems, but I just want to give you a kickstart in the right way. Stop saying, I'm a people pleaser, right there off the bat. And as soon as I say that, you're going to go, oh yeah, right, we shouldn't do that. And if this is new to you, you're like, I don't understand why. The I am is an identity statement, right? So as long as you identify as a people pleaser, you will never let go of people-pleasing thoughts and feelings and behaviors. Even if you try to change them, it won't work because you still identify as a people pleaser. So what you can do is dissociate from it, and you can acknowledge that you have people-pleasing behaviors. Let's call it that. I have people-pleasing behaviors. Take away the I am. It's not you. This is just your behavior, right? And we're going to get to the beliefs next. So that's a one little start just to help dissociate. But the true thing that you can do is release that baggage that I spoke of. The fear, the doubt, the beliefs of people pleasing, the trauma that may have, be a source of it, all of that stuff. This is truly the first step in anything that you change. If you want rapid results, this is where you address it because it goes right to here, not up here. It goes right here. And the way I like to describe this is, picture yourself driving and you got your foot on the gas, you're cruising towards what you want, right? And then you're trying to get to that destination. But your other foot at the same time said, I'm going to lean on the brake here. Is that cool? And you're like, no, that's not cool. It doesn't listen to you. Well, sorry. It's happening. What happens, right? There's resistance, there's restriction, there's tension, and it slows you down. And eventually it just stops you outright. And that foot on the brake, that's your baggage. All right, that's your fear, that's your doubt, that's your limiting beliefs, that's your people-pleasing ways, and it's your trauma that's pushing on that brake. That's your baggage. And so would you like to get that foot off of the brake? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do is, I don't like to make these videos too long, so I'm going to break it up here for you. I like to share another free lesson with you on releasing baggage. So that way you can escape all those dangers of people-pleasing that we've highlighted here, right? And then truly create peace within yourself. We think that people-pleasing is like, if they're happy, I'll be happy inside. There's never fully happy inside. There's going to be something that's discombobulated. I don't know if I've ever used that word before. Discombobulated within inside of you. And it's because you're acting out of alignment. You're not honoring yourself fully. So let's create that true peace within you. Like that, be authentic, have joy, have happiness. Yeah, there are people who ditch their behaviors in a week. It can happen so fast. It can happen in a day. Okay, yeah. So, and they start doing all those things that Google said that you need to do, like set boundaries and speak up for yourself and put your needs first. They can do it. They do it easily and effortlessly only because they release their baggage first. And it's not magic or it's not voodoo. It's neuroscience. It's psychology. And it's been around for a long time. And for some reason, some people love doing it the hard way. I don't know. Maybe it's set up so, hey, if you do it the hard way, you have to stick with me a lot longer. Who wants that? Science is the fast solution. So you ready for that? All right. So I may have already shared it with you. I may have given you a link to the second video. Like, go watch the lesson on releasing baggage. And if I haven't shared with you, bad Troy, and you can just request it. Just please message me and say, hey, I want that video on releasing baggage. And it's yours. It's free. All right. So the mission is now underway to help coaches get over their people-pleasing ways, because it's just getting in the way of you serving your clients in such a healthy way. And that's the thing that we got to separate right there, is we think that people-pleasing is serving people, and it's unfortunately not. Because when we rush to fix everything and make them happy, do everything for them to try and meet all their needs, what we're actually creating is a codependent relationship. And so you'll find that you're like, oh, hey, I just did all this for you. And they'll be like, I can't live without your help. So therefore, I must stay with you. And I guess that's a good business strategy if you want. Like, I'll always have clients because they're codependent on me. That's not what I want at all. We want, as coaches, to empower our people. We want to empower them, right? And so that's how you serve them. Serving them is a totally different than people pleasing. All right. And if you need more distinguished language on that, I'm happy to elaborate on that as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to know your biggest takeaway from this session. And go ahead and you can type that into the comment below. And I hope you really enjoy the releasing baggage video. It is absolutely life-changing. All right, be well.